Welcome to Teacher Development Webinars. My name is Amanullah Sand. I facilitate virtual programs at Teacher Development Webinars. Teacher Development Webinars is a social action project implemented by British Council Active Citizens in Pakistan as a response to COVID-19 crisis. It is an initiative to support teachers and educators around the world with professional development opportunities. We are thankful to Master English Training for sponsoring a Zoom account. And in today's webinar, we'll be exploring ideas on educate working environment for teachers to work online efficiently. This webinar will be useful for prospective teachers as well as teachers in service, that how they must be aware about the impact of computers in the field of education and their subject areas. And this will also help teachers to know the integrated technologies that help in the classroom teaching. And for today's webinar, we have Ms. Hina Karamat. Ms. Hina Karamat is full-time assistant professor and a researcher at the Department of English Language and Literature, Shahid Benazir Bhutto Women University, Peshawar. She is working as master trainer for Higher Education Commission Pakistan since 2007 and a project manager of English Access, a micro scholarship program that is funded by Rulo Pakistan, US Embassy in Pakistan. In this session, a resource person, Ms. Hina Karamat, will lead engaging and thought-provoking session and will leave participants with tools and resources to bring back to their respective institutions, classrooms, and colleges. So yeah, over to you, Hina. We are very happy to have you.
Thank you so much for inviting me again into this professional learning community. And I hope that, the topic that we are going to discuss today, that is teaching from on-site to online, challenges and choices. During this pandemic times and ever since the lockdown was partially over from different countries, including Pakistan. So most of us, we are facing this challenge because there is a hybrid mode of teaching. We have face-to-face, we used to be doing the face-to-face teaching. So we were not prepared. Most of the teachers' fraternity, they were not prepared. They did not know that what kind of challenges that they are going to face when any such kind of a situation would happen. Where it has put us all our abilities on test. Another thing that I would say that, I would talk from the point of view of that, how it was beneficial for each one of us. The basic thing was, how can we use technology and we can use the benefits of technology into the classrooms. Most of my professional learning community and the teachers, they were not ready for it because we were used to of the face-to-face teaching. We were using information technology and all the IT tools, but they were not that much in vogue. So today I'm going to talk more about it, that how can, I can facilitate you, I can help you in using different learning management systems, technologies and strategies that can really help you as an educator, curriculum designer, as a part of the admin, to make this online experience successful both for the teachers and the students. So I'm going to share my screen, and I hope that you'll be able to see it clearly. Okay. Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is, but if you can, yes, perfect.
All right, so this is the topic that we are going to discuss today, that is the teaching from on-site to online, challenges and choices. As I already told that, online education, that nowadays we just see that, and most of the teachers and the students, they were not ready for it. There are so many factors involved in it, and I'm going to ponder more on that. Let's see that I'm going to share with you one of the empirical researches, and that is, it says that many empirical studies have been conducted to examine the quality of the online courses from various aspects. And studies have identified and examined critical issues affecting quality of the online education, such as communication, technology, time management, pedagogy, and assessment. And today in this webinar, and I really expect that all the participants are going to ask me questions about it, that I'll be focusing more on communication, because definitely you need to communicate, you need to transfer the information to the students, and how students are in the loop all the time. This is one of the biggest challenges that most of the time that our fraternity and the teachers, they are facing. Use of technology, that is another very important thing, that how can we incorporate, and even in the face-to-face teaching we can use technology. Most of us, we were not ready for it, irrespective of the fact that whichever course we are teaching, including the language teaching, we can use technology. We have a number of applications that we can download for the students, and you can engage students into very meaningful, in a number of meaningful activities. Time management, everything is time bound, and even if it is a face-to-face teaching or it is an online teaching. So how teachers have managed their time for the online readiness, when they would start the class, how would they engage the students, and they would make them follow the deadlines and all these kind of things. From the pedagogical point of view, I'm going to talk more about the methodologies and the strategies that the teachers have to use for online classes, hybrid teaching, and at the same time face-to-face teaching. This is for everyone, but my particular focus is definitely online teaching today, and the assessment procedures. Most of the teachers, they just talk to me that how can we assess. There are different tools and strategies that through which that you can assess the students, and it just need a little bit definitely your homework and collaborating with the professional learning community. You can network, you can see. And I'm also going to tell you that how you can form the closed groups. You can be the part of that professional learning community, and this way, through peer learning, through exchange of ideas, you can help others to give you some assessment tools. And most of them, that most of the learning management tools and systems that we are using, they are very user friendly, so you can also use them for assessment procedures. Now, I'll focus more on a review of literature using Copper's framework. It was conducted to identify such issues, and the three main issues that I'll be focusing on. The three major categories of findings were identified: issues related to online learners, instructors, and content development. Definitely, the target group is very important. The needs of the target group, what these students want, what is their profile. When you go to the next stage after the need analysis, that then you just design whatever the curriculum that you have, you design it accordingly. And online curriculum is very different, not much in terms of the content that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the methodologies and the strategies, that how you're going to teach the students. So learners' issues include learners' expectations, readiness, identity, and participation in online courses. So definitely learners, they have expectations, they want to learn, they want to, just go to the next standards and all that. Are they ready? How their institutions, organizations are facilitating them? It's a lot of work. And it's a teamwork, it's a collaborative work in which that your IT section, your networking section, that is going to be involved, because you have to give students their IDs. Students, like they should have the official IDs, and how they would be using it, just to make it more standardized and formal. Then the next step is about the instructors. Instructors' issues include challenging faculty roles, because definitely instructor, as a resource person, as a counselor, as a role model, as a as a teacher, has to the main purpose is that the students, they should learn something that which help them in order to achieve the objectives and goals of the program and that particular course. Transforming from face-to-face to online teaching, and this is one of the biggest challenges that we can see even in the second wave of the COVID-19, where we are back to there were certain people from different parts of the world are today online over here. I would like to listen from them, that how they are coping with the situation. But we do have the face-to-face teaching going on, but that is like very limited. Very few students, they have joined the institutions. So, and we have resumed the online teaching. So teacher's role from face-to-face to online teaching, that is very challenging still. Time management and teaching styles, we would talk about it. For me and for everyone, the most important thing is the content issues, including the role of instructors in the content development, integration of the multimedia in content, role of instructional strategies in the content development, and the consideration of the content development. Now, whenever the content that we are going to teach, like you have particular syllabuses that you are teaching to your students. There are certain topics that you are teaching to your students. But apart from that, when you are going towards online readiness, so the most important thing is that, have you changed that face-to-face mode into online teaching by providing them students the links and the authentic websites, certain things which are standard and they can use it? Have you done that or you haven't done that? It's a big question mark. To address these challenges in online education, education institutes need to provide professional development for instructors, trainings for learners, and technical support for the content development. And this is what I told in the beginning. It's a teamwork. And definitely not to meet these challenges, teachers need to go through these professional development courses. And particularly, this COVID-19 pandemic globally has made us understand that, information technology and tech education is very important. That can help us to connect to our students and like to the professional learning community, and we can make differences. I'm going to talk about certain pros. We will come to the cons as well. Online teaching, it helps students to reach learning goals because there is no gap and somehow they are learning something. They are the part of that learning teaching system. Teaching an online course can help you to be a better teacher. And trust me, it is like that. And we'll talk more about it, that, you're ready, and being a teacher, you are creative and you reflect in action, on action, for action, and like, you just devise the strategies which are student friendly. And all, because there are multiple intelligences and all the students, like, they take the benefit out of that. It can help you to provide better explanations of concepts, flexibility, concepts. How if you just want to know, you can ask me questions on that. It is very, very flexible. Why? Because there is no commuting time, and from the comfort of your home and couch, like, you can be online, and the learning teaching process that is going on. Then the opportunities for feedback, because I told you that, in the face-to-face teaching, definitely the students, they have the sit-in exams, they take the test and you have to mark the test. And now so many learning management systems that we have, it has made it so easy for all of us that we can very easily give the feedback. It's so handy, it is so quick, and you can just check it and you can share it with the students. Student can revisit the resources and lectures is the best part of the online teaching, because whether you are recording your lectures, whether you are just giving them certain resources, so they can always go and revisit. And it is not something that, once they have missed the class, so they cannot revisit to the material that was shared with the students. Students can review the material anytime, anywhere, as I have already told you. The next important thing over here is, okay, I would request the participant to mute your mic. I think that, yeah, all right. So for the online readiness, the most important point is that, your self-assessment, and this self-assessment is related to the teacher's self-assessment, that, how much they are ready, how much they are ready for the online teaching experience. Now, a few tips that the teachers, how can they prepare themselves for the online teaching? Plan your classes. Planning. That's the most important part. If you would not plan, there are high chances that, you may miss something that, which is very important for the students, for your lessons, for the assessment, and so on and so forth. Your students are not physically in front of you. So you have to keep this reality in mind, that if they're not physically, how can you engage them? So you have to think of the ways and the means through which they can be engaged. Then prepare and master technology. Teaching online requires a certain technical finesse, which means that we know that without tech education and technology, in the present time, we have gotten to know that, how important it is. And it was before the COVID-19 pandemic, but most of us were not paying attention to it. So it's everyone's responsibility, particularly who are in this field, that they need to master it. How to master it? Like, maybe you can join courses, maybe you can use it, maybe. And nowadays that I also give this advice to most of the colleagues, that there are so many videos available, whatever learning management system you select for yourself. For example, you are on the Google Hangouts, you are in the Google Classroom, you are using Zoom. Tutorials are very easily available on YouTube and all that if you're using it. But most of the institutions, what they are doing is that they are here in Pakistan, it is happening that they have devised the faculty development courses, just like one that you are having it right now. And this is how that they get to know that what they have to do next. Third one is set up an adequate work environment, innovate and stimulate discussions. When we are at the office and when the students are with us, so it's very easy for us that we create that environment. But how you can create that favorable environment for the students through which that they can be the part of this online learning, this is very important. And I believe that you can say the 100% and more than 100%, it depends on the teachers, that how they involve their students. Innovation and the different ideas, something which is very interesting, with the help of different maybe activities and games and all that. You just involve the students, maybe in the quiz. You just stimulate the discussion. You can give them writing prompts. You can give them prompts for speaking. So all these techniques can be used in the online teaching, and they are very, very successful. Communicate regularly because it's online. So definitely your communication with the students on the regular basis is of utmost importance, that how you communicate with them, how you just keep them informed about certain things are happening. And that you can do because, as I told you, that most of the LMS that we are using, LMS, as you know, that I'm referring to the learning management systems, they're very much user-friendly and student-friendly. Motivate your students. I mean, this is one of the most important thing that I do with my students, that how as a teacher you can motivate them. So definitely your methodologies and strategies, they really play a very important role in it. Last point, which is the most important point, and which I would like all of you to consider if you are not using it, if you are not taking the benefit out of that, that is ask for help and feedback. And how can you do that? You can have the networking with the right people of your fraternity, PLCs, professional learning communities. It can be the closed and the private group on the social media, and you can make your own group, the group that that you have already joined over here. This is also providing you the professional learning communities, those you can say opportunities that you can network with each other, and you get to know that how to go ahead and how can you make your classes more interactive, and you can get the benefit out of your lessons. Then another very important point is for the academic coordinators, because most of you that you are the academic coordinators and at the same time your instructors, they need to take into account the following steps. And what are those steps? Design online session and activities based on the learning objectives. Promote inclusivity, which means considering reworking your online course to take up even less bandwidth to be inclusive of learners who have weaker online connections. At times what happens if any institution has selected one application or LMS, so at times there are students who are living in the far-flung areas that do not have access to it. So what can be the solution? So this teacher has to have a plan A, plan B, plan C. Then those students who do not have access to such kind of for example, Skype, use of Skype, it's very heavy, and at times the students, they cannot use it properly. So instead of Skype, you can use Zoom. And if Zoom is not working, what can you use? You can use the Google Hangouts and anything. So there are so many things. The only thing is that if you are aware of all these things, and this is the common practice these days, and most of the teachers, they have access to it, and it is also free of cost. Impact clear rules of interaction. Your objectives and outcomes should be very clear. Make virtual interaction concise and engaging, because the attention span in an online class, it is very less. So it should not be that, it should exceed to the limit so that you just lose all the attention of the students, and the learners, they are not comfortable because they have to sit all the time in front of the screen. There is no such movement. So be careful that, when you are designing your curriculum and syllabus for the online readiness, that how can you engage them. Rethink assessment procedures. As I told you, that there are different assessment procedures. You can ask them, it can be an open book test. It can be you just ask them to write a critical essay. You can ask them to solve certain problems, and then they can take a screenshot and share with you, or they can just go online and just solve it. So it depends and varies from course to course that you are teaching. There are close groups for the instructors and the program coordinators, which are very, very popular. I have used some of the logos, and you can also see that I would highly recommend over here to all the professional learning communities, all the students and the participants of today's session, that please make use of any of these. For example, you can have the YouTube channel, you can have the close group on the Facebook, you can use Twitter for that, you can use Instagram, whatever suits you. There are so many that you can use. Different learning management systems that are very popular in the world these days, and we are using some of them. I want to share with you. ClassDojo is very popular. Emodo is very, very popular, and it provides you different tools and resources to manage the classroom and engage the students who are remotely sitting, and you can make them learn, not only learn, but also you can make them solve different type of problems. Google Classrooms are very popular, and most of the teachers, they were using it. And as I told you, that all of them, they are free of cost available, and all depends that which one you are using. Then DingTalk, Lark, Hangouts, Meet, Teams, MS Teams, they are nowadays very popular, and I have seen that most of the higher education institutions and also the schools, they are using that MS Teams. Skype, Zoom, right now we are using Zoom, so you can see that how benefit, like right now we have the 70 plus participants who are attending the webinar, and like 71 plus, you can say, the participants who are attending the webinar, and they can use, they can see my material, and they can ask me questions and all that. All right. So I would request the admin of this meeting to please mute mic, or maybe any participant's mic is open, so it is creating disturbance in the middle. All right, so we would go ahead. All right. The most important thing, which I feel that it is that breaking the class structure. It's an online class, it's a virtual experience. So how can you make students, so you need to know that how different management systems they are they are working. Even while sitting, while the students, they are using the online, they are in the online classes, you can make their groups. The only thing is that you need to make yourself familiar with that, how you can do that, and breaking the structure. For example, there would be some students who would not be participating, some would be participating all the time. So you need to see that how you can make everyone be a part of this learning teaching experience. I'll just talk about certain cons. We are very much aware that these weaknesses are there. For example, teaching online means a lot of hard work. Definitely it is. Students don't always complete assignments at the same time. So how can you engage students, and how can you make them follow the deadlines? This is really very important. For that, you can always time your assignments, and the students, they know that, for example, if you're giving them some work, and you just inform them accordingly that what time it is going to, that this app or this management system is going to, would not accept your assignment. So initially it would be a challenge, but later on they will be trained. And this is how we have also trained our students. Students may not have access to individual pieces of technology. Yes, this can be another con and another weakness. Sometimes students, they have access to one sort of a tool and they cannot download and they cannot use another type of a tool because of maybe the bandwidth or all these kind of restraints and the problems that we have. Assignments can take longer to complete. Online teaching can make you feel isolated, definitely. It's not a face-to-face teaching, like the kind of interaction that we have in the classes, we cannot have, though we can make them talk, we can make them participate, but it can never substitute face-to-face teaching. So this is one of the cons of the online teaching. Plagiarism. Copy pasting. How would you determine that the work that has been submitted to you is not plagiarized? For that, I would recommend that there are some plagiarism, anti-plagiarism websites. I don't know whether you are using. Most of the teachers, they had an access. I have seen over here that Higher Education Commission Pakistan has made it accessible to everyone, but like very few people would use it. For example, one of the most popular one is Turnitin. Then there are so many other through which that you can just check the student assignment whether they have plagiarized or not. But if you ask students to give the references or maybe the bibliography at the end, then it would be very easy for you to see that whether they have done research or not. Last one is technology. If it is not working, there is no class, which means that we are so much dependent on technology. So it's very important students should have access to Wi-Fi or data or whatever that they are using, because if it's not there, then there is no class. Computer literacy, how much we are literate, and in terms of that, using computers, that's really very important. The curriculum of any online program must be carefully considered and developed. And another drawback is that at times in the online system, if the teacher is not properly prepared and involving the student, and the students are very passive. So how to make them active? Again, it depends on your strategies. Unless thoughtfully crafted online instruction can turn students into passive observers rather than active participants, although these unengaged students may acquire the lecture content, they are not able to apply their learnings outside the virtual classroom. So our main motive is that the students, they should learn something and then they can apply. Are they learning? They're not learning. So again, as I said, the teachers' methodologies and strategies, they are really very important. And how can you determine that the student is learning? So you can give them short assignments. You can give them a quiz at the end of your lesson. You just ask them a question. You just, there are so many activities that you can do with them. For learning to be effective, students must be engaged in the quality, breadth, and depth of their learning. Here I'm going to talk about some of the very, you can say, these are challenges based on whatever, my team, and I have heard from the teachers that, most of the time they are facing, and I will share with you some of the solutions. I hope that they are going to help you as well. Challenges, the first challenge is that learners may have inappropriate expectations, expecting instant feedback, which is not possible. For example, if you're taking the virtual class of 40 students, this is not possible that, just the next day. So you definitely take time. How are you going to, you have to describe a reasonable wait time for the feedback and estimated hours for the learners. But it's very important that the teachers give them realistic deadlines, something that, after which that, they can check and all the scores would be visible. They can see what they have done. This is what we do usually in the semester system. The students have access to their midterm examination papers and all that. So at least they can see and learn from their mistakes, that what they are not supposed to repeat later on. Then another challenge is that learners' readiness to participate in an online course varies. The first one is necessary technical skills students should be aware, they should have. For that, institutions around the globe and the world, they have worked on it, including Pakistan, including different countries. That first they had, it was not something that, it was a chaotic situation in the beginning, but what they did that, the planning part was for the online readiness for the teachers and the students both, which learning management system they would be using, then they shared the tutorials to the students and the students had access to it. the right attitude for the online. For example, students, they know it's online class, it's virtual, it's not face to face. So like, what should they expect, and the deadlines and all these kind of things. So they should be ready. So their shift from face to face to it's not only a shift for teachers from face to face to online, but also of the students, the shift of attitude. Time management skills, which I talked about for the teachers, it is also for the students, that how much time they would give to each course, and when they have to meet the deadlines, and they have to submit their assignments and to upload their assignments accordingly. All right, then learners may feel isolated and disconnected. As I said that, it's in the online system, it can be like this, that, students may feel isolated and disconnected. So what you can do, some of the strategies that I have put into the solution, you can offer a peer review and a group work. You can connect the students in different ways throughout the semester. Like, for example, the closed group you can make the part of the professional learning community. Small group discussions, you can always have it on the Google Hangouts, Blackboard, whatever that, the management system and the tool that you are using and your institution is using. Check in with the students on a daily basis or the weekly basis to help to build the community, because students, that community of practice is really very important. The community of practice of the students that, who are in the same class, they have the same goal, they have the same profile, and they want to excel in that particular discipline. So it's very important that they should know that, it's how they can, learn from each other as a part of that bigger community. Learners need to be actively engaged. How can you engage? Some points I have mentioned over here, for example, through audio, the podcasts, videos, discussion, various form of text. You can make them use the blogs and articles. You can make them read them. Ongoing assessment in different ways. You can provide them rubrics. You can make them by rubric, I mean, for example, if you just provide before the assessment to all the students that, you will be marked on your fluency, you will be marked on your problem solving attitude, or whatever that, the requirements of different subjects are. So they would really help students that, they would see the rubric, and they would also check that, where there is a loophole and what they have missed. And it would be kind of passing autonomy to the students, and the students would be they would be more informed students. They would know that how they have to go. They would also reflect as the teachers are reflecting that, how can they make the learning teaching successful. Meaningful feedback, reflection, activities, collaboration with the peers. I have already talked about it, so I'm not going into the detail. One assignment description is often not enough. Clarity of assignment instruction is necessary. So it's definitely the job of the teacher that whenever you are giving certain type of an assignment, the instruction should be very clear, so the student should not get confused that what they have to do, because definitely currently most of the students, they are now using the different learning management systems, but still at times the challenge for them is that the instructions that we provide to them, they may not be clear. So we need to elaborate and see that, how can we help them to meet their goals or the goals of the program. The bells and whistles of technology tools do not necessarily provide the best outcome for the student learning. So what we need to do, we need to start by thinking about content and students' needs first. And the need of the target group, what is their level, how much time is required for anything that we want them to learn, and what do your students need to know. Then there is a KWL model, which is very popular, what they need to know, and you can give it to the students as well. I hope that most of the educators who are here with me, they know the KWL model, which is very popular, what they know about the lesson before and after, and then after attending the lesson, how much is increased in their current information and knowledge. And L stands for learning. So, how much they have learned from a particular activity, and so on and so forth. Let me go ahead. All right, so in a nutshell, what we need to do. We as instructors and teachers, we need to be organized. We need to manage our time properly. As I said, the time management is the key. We need to become more comfortable with the technology because as I said quite a number of times during my talk and presentation, that this COVID times and this pandemic has made us understand that there is one way and means through which we can connect to the people, irrespective that, what is your time zone, where we are sitting, less resources. I mean, like, it's almost free that, you are at home and you are attending that. So you need to be more comfortable with the technology. Since most of the people, they have never used it, so like, they feel afraid of using it. It's very simple, and like, once you are into it, then it turns out to be a very, very easy experience. Trust me, this is what we are also experiencing, because before this COVID-19 and whatever the scenario happened, no one was comfortable, but now most of the people and majority of the people, they are more comfortable. Learn software skills and become an influential writer. By saying that, it means that your deadlines, your instructions, whatever you are going to give to the students, so they should be very, very clear. All right. So I would go to the last bullet, and it says that choice in the current COVID-19 pandemic, and leaders of the public and the private education institutions have put in place alternative methods for students and teachers to continue with their lessons when attending schools is not possible, and are working on methods that will make schools fit for for working in a safe environment. So the safe environment when it would be corona free, when there wouldn't be any such kind of a thing. So we are just hoping, but before that, the choice is that, we need to use this, because the gap that has already come because of the uncertainty that we have in the initial phase of this lockdown. Now we are all ready and prepared that how we need to manage it. So it is the choice, and it is the best choice at this particular point of time. And thank you so much for listening to me and the